man.
A wonderful sight, wonderful sound of all those spitfires. But the logistical nightmare begins, doesn't it? Because every single one of those aircraft starts to heat up from the time they move. And the flying director has got to make sure he gets them in the air pretty quick. And I think most of them have got about 3 minutes before they have to shut down.
The thing is that on the Spitfire, the engine gives out very much heat, and so you have the radiators and the wings, and when you're taxiing, there's not enough airstream from the propeller to cool down and give the possibility to bring the engine back to normal temperatures. So when you're taxiing, it heats up. And so now on the runway, so you have to go quick, to go fast. You don't want to waste your time on the ground, either you boil the engine. So we have 2 sets of Spitfires now on the runways. We have the big ones with the Griffon engines. They are big engines, 35 liter V12. Rolls-Royce, and they are the latest mark of Spitfires as the aircraft which flew by the end of the war. And 4 Griffons, and the rest, in total we have 11 Spits, and the rest is equipped with Merlin engines. They are the small ones, and they are going to fly in 2 elements. One will use the grass runway closer to us for high-speed passes, and then after that you just pull up and you do a turn on top of the pull-up and you come down again at high speed, and while the others, Merlin engine Spitfires, will go above the secondary axis, which is the farther from us, near the over the hard surface runway, and they will perform very gentle and very elegant lazy eights, using much less speed at the bottom of the
Am I right in saying that the props spin in a different direction for the different the Griffon and the Merlin go in different directions?
The problem is that it changes a lot in terms of piloting, because and the problem is that, well, on the Spitfire it's less important than on some American aircraft, for instance, the Mustang, the P-51, because the Mustang has a metal propeller, which is heavier. And these huge propellers bolted to big engines are in fact giant gyroscopes. And if it's a light prop, like on the Spitfires, which is made of wood, and so lighter than the metal props, the gyroscopic effects are less important. And so the aircraft doesn't tend to go sideways. And of course, when the prop is turning clockwise, it will take you in one direction, and if it's counterclockwise, it will take you in the other direction. But anyway, you have potentially you have a problem because your aircraft doesn't want to go straight on takeoff, contrary to the jets, which are, as everybody knows, made for kids. And the jets, well, you just push the throttle and the thing goes straight like an arrow, and that's it. While on a propeller-driven aircraft like these, things are different. Piloting again. And here we go. Take off. Griffin engine first. Fighter Collection and Stephen Gray. Flying Legends 2015 opens. Dogfights recorded during the summer 1940 was almost a ratio of 1:4, and of course this included bombers on the German side, but and at the same time about the German fighters, the endurance on the fuel quantity in the Messerschmitt 109 was so low that most of the German fighters, escort fighters, were not able to stay above south of England for a long time, so they would leave the bombers on their own, and but nevertheless, the ratio, putting this number of Spitfires in the sky was normal, and that was a squadron complement, a fighting squadron complement. And so now we have Merlin 1, 2, and 3. Merlin 1 is and now coming from the left, the big engine one.
Notice we've got a couple of clip wing versions in there.
The clip
brought in to increase the roll rate, wasn't it?
Yeah, the clip wings were on the Spitfire. You can unbolt the wingtips by just one key, and it's quite easy. And you replace the pointed wingtip by just a little fairing, which is made of wood, by the way, varnished wood, and which lessens the span of the aircraft and makes it more maneuverable at low altitude. So the clipped wing version was supposed to be a low altitude dogfighting machine. A little bit. Some people will tell you that.
Well, yes. Our Lord and Master Stephen Gray was of the opinion that it made no significant difference.
The thing is that today we fly this aircraft with kind of a peculiar approach to it. Well, at the time they were fighting a war, so if the aircraft was serviceable, they would use it as it was. But there was a reason behind the clipped wing version. Closely at the aircraft flying, you'd see that they're dancing from side to side, and that because of the fact that you're flying so many aircraft in a small volume, the air becomes quite turbulent above the runways and becomes more and more bumpy. Coils over the runway. flying legends are that minimum altitude for a straight and level plus is 50 feet, which is quite impressive when you're doing 250 miles per hour in bumpy air. Pilots on the Griffins are Schofield, Lewis, Smith, and Christophe Jacquard. Pilots on the Merlins again are Nick Grace, Alan Wade, Mr. Brown, Mr. Poulston, Paul Baum, Mr. Sessions, and Maxi Gainza. And when you're in one of these aircraft, you spend these 15 minutes with head swiveling because you want to see where are the others. You're following the man who's right in front of you, but at the same time you want to know where are the others. And so you look everywhere.
So how much physical?
Because it's hot in this aircraft. There's no air
But it is
conditioning.
physical. It needs
And it's
firm control inputs.
It's well, the speed is quite light on the controls, and it's not real physical effort in flying it. But you're concentrating really at a fact. It seems nothing. It's only 15 minutes of merry-go-round, but you can see it that way. But once you're inside the machine, it's
The control inputs and the physicality lessens the higher you go, the thinner the air.
when you get into thinner air, the aircraft becomes lighter under your hand, but at the same time, it loses. Flying high with these machines was completely different. They were high as 25,000 feet, for instance. They had some dogfights at this kind of altitudes, and of course you can't pull as many Gs as you would. Remember, they are not. And you have to keep on your toes until you're landing, and landing in the piece of grass, or short or long, and the idea is to keep moving, to keep taxiing until the end. Never, if you land on the left side of the grass runway, never cut. In case somebody else is coming inside you, and so it's attending the briefing here given every morning by Pete Kinsey, Jane Frazier, and the rest is quite fascinating, because the briefing is over an hour long, and it's very quiet in the room.